All right. So this video is going to be uploaded tomorrow, which is the day of when you guys are looking at this. But I wanted to go ahead and upload it now because I have replays that I'm not going to save all of them, and I just wanted to go ahead and save, record this and then upload it later. So this is Kashtira Ruler. Now it's still pending. This deck is not finalized yet. As you can tell, there's a 12 card extra deck. Um, we have random hand traps in here, but random one ofs. But this account is kind of, I had 8,000 gems, and I was just like, you know what? Let's just try to make that deck right now, and see what we can make happen. And I got some replays to show, and this has been an experience. So typically, as you know, I like to play dragon decks. I have done like Sword Soul, um, branded, and other stuff like offline where I don't even play it on my main. Like if you look at my history and stuff, you would never see it. I have like a fifth account where I do like meta stuff, but I do meta stuff when it's not meta. So this is a first. Anyway, this deck has been an experience of playing a meta deck when, it's at its peak, and it's just funny watching people scoop when you do the bare minimum. But let's just talk about the deck first. Now, for the actual package, I'm pretty much just kind of running all the Kashtira names, unless I'm missing something, which I might be, I don't know. But I'm running all the Kashtira names at their max copies, and that for a normal Kashtira deck, you probably wouldn't do. I think I've seen others where they would only play like two Rise Hearts, not three. But what I'm going for here is just like the most consistency in getting a monster on the field because having a deck full of a whole bunch of level sevens, though they can special summon themselves, it's still good to kind of have just a little bit of like extra-ness behind them so they're just not kind of sitting in your hand. Which this deck has a crazy grind game. Um, so let's first talk about the main deck and the synergy here with the rulers. The obvious synergy is that some of the Kashtira cards happen to share an element with the rulers that we have off of the ban list at the moment. Rise Heart being Fire for Blaster, and Unicorn being Wind for Tippus. This is good because you have additional ways to special the rulers onto the field um, when in cases where you think that you probably wouldn't. The funny synergy here is that because stuff like preparations specials your Kashtira monster from the Banish Zone along with Birth, you have a infinite resource loop, quote unquote infinite, between the rulers and the Kashtira monsters. So if you're going first, and let's just say you open ruler, Kashtira, and you have Birth, there is a world where you can actually banish your Kashtira monster to special summon your ruler to then special summon it back off the birth and make a play there. Obviously, you would still just like special summon the cashier because like why would you not? But it's just interesting that you have the option to do so, just kind of depending on how your hand looks and what what options are available. I think a more realistic option of that is let's say you open um, Sparks and Rise Heart. These on their own may not do a whole lot. Well, I mean, technically Rise Heart does it. I mean, if you play them and banish them and blah 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 blah. But anyway, you have Ascension, so like you can make plays with it. I think what's the one I'm actually thinking of? I think it might have been Unicorn. It came up in a scenario where it actually mattered. We're beside the point. There's synergy there. But this deck does break even though there's just like a lot of bodies that you can put on the field, it does kind of break. And because we're also lacking the earth and water um, rulers, we're also a little short on some of this energy because like it's interesting. And yeah, I managed to just kind of craft this. It just popped up. So, there you go. But So we are missing a little bit of synergy there with the Earth and the Water one, but they're getting the level sevens on the field is actually pretty consistent, especially if your hand is kind of just kind of cracked out with a whole bunch of monsters, where like you could special summon the ruler and another monster, make Diablosis, search their extra deck, banish something, and then now that your ruler's in the graveyard, if you and a lot of my hands, I'll open like two of these. If you send both of them, you could then send your blaster to the graveyard, banish those two, re-special summon the blaster, and then kind of just keep going on from there. And then from there, you could start like banishing whichever Kashtira monsters you can, which is typically either Unicorn or Rise Heart, and then just kind of going from there. We also are playing the one that's in Thunder only because like I just I didn't feel like making more. I could obviously do it. Playing the three instant contacts. This card is funny. I like it, so I played it. It's just funny. But and I'm also playing Flare Neos because he's fire. I did check for wind, but there was only the fire one. Just so like you want to run Blaster at 2 because there's just a lot more fire monsters that you could play. Speaking of fire monsters, if I were actually playing this deck for real, I would definitely run 3 Ash Blossoms because if you open Ash Blossom and a burner, then you have a level 7 on the field. So, provided you have any other caster in hand, I mean, you could just kind of continue playing from there and have some recursion there. Obviously, having 3 Ash Blossoms is fine. And then you could also play the other. I had it saved and then I looked at my replays and I lost it, but it's fine. I think just should pull it up. Ghost Warner and Moonlit Chill as another target. You could run 3 of these sort of like as a pseudo effect veiler, and with it, that gives you your Tempest play. So you can have hand traps to because that was something that I noticed is that this deck had some trouble going. Well, technically not. It didn't have any issues going second, but there are just times where you want to be able to interrupt your opponent, but like you just don't have the cards to do so. And those 2 hand traps in this version of the deck, you can run at max copies because if you happen to open the burner or the lightning at any point with either of those cards in hand, if you're going first, you just special summon your sevens and play on. If you're going second, they're also hand traps. And then if you're opening a Kashtira monster end them and you're going first, you special Kashtira monster, normal summon the hand trap because draw tuners, and then you have access to Barone if you don't have any other extension. So if I was really cleaning up the deck, I'll take out the Regeki, the Harpy Shredder Duster, maybe the Nibiru. I haven't actually summoned it yet, but that'll probably go. I'd actually probably get rid of Maxi. Um, that may sound weird, but I'm not that big of a fan of Maxi, and I don't think it actually is needed in this type of deck. I mean, the card is still busted as crap, so don't take it like, oh, he thinks it's a bad card. It's still 94% like play rate. The only reason it's dropping is because I'm playing the game without Maxi in all my decks. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm doing the hard work myself. Um, and I'll also get rid of like the crossout designator. Like the only reason why I'm playing these random one-offs is just because I have the crossout designator, which I've literally never drew. I have drawn preparations 5 duels in a row, 1 card by the way, but it's been pretty good so far. The extra deck is still stupid. I, being the amazingly smart person that I am, thought I could add Utopic Future and Draco in here because I was like, oh, there's so many sevens in here. How could this fail? Not realizing this is a number monster and this is a number monster. So I'm stupid. But there's still there's still a world where like you could make it if you wanted to, but like you would need some other random sevens to go into, and I don't know if there's merit in most of these that's like worth it. I mean, maybe if you want to slide in some like normal ones or something, if you really need that monster negate or something, but I don't think any of these are really worth it. Um, so yeah, I was stupid for that. I'm gonna leave it in here because I don't really care. I don't I don't have anything else going on in this extra deck because we're just at the testing period. Literally a lot of my duels ended the moment I summoned Shangri-Era. Like I would summon Blaster, Tempest, and then XYZ into Shangri-La, and then they scoop. They're like, oh, this was Kashtira all along? I'm out of here. So, they were here when I was discarding Burner in hand. They're like, oh, I'm here for this. And then as soon as they saw Kashtira, they're like, I'm out. Um, and same with Diablosis. There are just times where like they didn't even want me to look at the extra deck. As soon as he hit the field, they just scooped. There were also duels where I couldn't win. This deck also loses very hard to Mekanko. That's like the weirdest thing ever, but like they just don't give a crap. They just don't. They don't have an extra deck, so you don't. That doesn't really bother them, and they're also playing like Lava Golem and stuff. So even if you manage to like lock up all 5 zones, which you can do turn 1, by the way, um, they're just gonna Lava Golem you and play anyway. So like, yeah, that's a crazy random matchup because I don't lose to Mechanical with my other decks. Like they're just free from my other decks unless I just misplay hard. But otherwise, I just kind of run that over. Ghost Arc is in here because it's funny, but most importantly, um, it still has synergy in other ways. So like if you literally just open Ghost Arc and birth, you have a combo. You can Ghost Arc any of your Kashtira monsters and then birth them back, and then I'm guessing it would be Fenrir. You would banish the Fenrir, add him back, special him, and then search like the unicorn, so that you can add. Never mind, you already have that. You would search the ogre so you can get the trap, so that way you have the spell and the trap in rotation. This deck felt like a really, if it made it to turn 3 and you didn't get rid of the Shangri-La, like you just lost a duel. Like it seemed like I think I might show the duel against like the Dark Magician player where like I was confused as to why he kept playing. I literally locked out all his zones. Um, if this deck goes first and you make it to turn 3, you're pretty much just you won, even though you don't necessarily OTK him. So let's just actually go ahead and look at some of these replays real quick instead of me just kind of telling you about them. So this one, and I stopped here with my matches. Um, this one was a pretty interesting one. I'm gonna fast forward all of them because I kind of want to show maybe 3 or 4 of them, and I don't want these to go on too long. Some of them are gonna be going first, others are gonna be going second. This one, set 3 pass. You think is Labyrinth, but this Harpy's Feather Duster off the top of the deck. You're good, you're good. But it was Pearly all along. So it was Pearly. Yeah, they're gonna get mad. Always maxing the draw face. And then I just added that just to add it. I don't want to draw it. I won't summon that. I forgot which one I got rid of and why, honestly. Delicious Memory. I don't even know why I got rid of it. And then I banished the 3 spells out the grave. The main thing with the Pearly matchup is I just keep banishing their spells out the graveyard, and I'm like, I don't think they can do anything with it. Like, I don't actually face Pearly all that often. I somehow missed it in the XYZ event. The little that I played of it. But yeah, this literally just ruins them. You know, just those 2 were enough. So that was that one. The first one, and this is the first duel I had. Some of these duels I don't show only because I misplayed, even though like we won or I won. I like look like even in the match I realized like the misplays that I had. So this one's me going first, and I was just like, okay, this looks like a pretty good hand. And maybe there was a better play here, but I think I did this right. So the one thing that I've been pondering on is who to make Shangri-Ira with, because like the materials typically just don't leave him. So I recognize that I don't want to use Blaster on him because I want the recursion. Like imagine if I made the Ablosis with Blaster instead, when they went to the graveyard, I could then just banish the 2 burners out the graveyard, special summon back, and then I have like the Unicorn on field, and there's another 7 I could go into. So for troll purposes, I'll probably just go into Red Eyes Flare Metal. Um, is this once per card? Oh, I could play 2 of those, but I would probably just play Flare Metal. So I think like so I'm still trying to figure out like that aspect of it because I didn't realize it just doesn't lose materials. And yeah, this guy just kept activating cards, and I'm just gonna keep banishing everything because this is just insane. Yeah, and that would have been a 5 card. That would have been a 5 zone loop if otherwise. Let's see. There was another one. I believe it was this one, but I think this one has misplay. Yeah, I think this one has some misplay on it, but we'll see. Yeah. This is the misplay, but it's okay. We show our growth. We show our growth. 2 instant contacts, don't you love it? See, this time I picked up on it. You know, I had already, gotten a little bit clever with it. And see, this is more so what I meant to do before. And this is when I realized that they're number monsters, because I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go into Utopia Future Draco, and I was like, oh, they're both number monsters. I can't do that. So that was the huge misplay on my part. And this deck doesn't have Zeus, but like I'm gonna include Zeus. Like in a serious deck, it's gonna have Zeus. But these matches right now were just like proof of concept type thing. But just to kind of show what some of the options are that the deck is capable of doing with the plays and such. And then let's check out a loss because we are not perfect players. It's just I don't even want to watch that one. I hated that one. I hated it. Oh my goodness. Nah, I'm not. No, you're not gonna see how I lost the tunes. You're not gonna see it. Um, wait, I lost this? Oh, no. I know what happened there. I know what happened there. Okay, so let's watch this one. I know why I lost that other one. I literally just didn't play the card. I didn't play because I didn't have a good hand. It was a brick hand. Then the last one with all like the burn parts and stuff, I actually just didn't play. I didn't have a hand, and I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna GG go next. And that's when I added some other cards into the deck. So, as you can tell, there's change of heart in this one. Like I said, I made changes to the deck. And I had no idea what else to do besides just that play and pass. And it was Makonko all along. And I just scooped because, like, I know what their game plan is even if they didn't get rid of my monster, just 3,000 defense, like, they're just going to swing into me 3 times and then win the duel. So I just got up and left there. So and as you can tell, that opening hand was just kind of mid since I didn't get the other more important Kashtira monsters. Like if I got one off of birth, or if I got Unicorn to give me birth, that'd have been pretty useful. If I got the other, I could have got Rise Heart, which could have been useful as well. So um, otherwise, but overall, this has been pretty good. If you have any input on the deck, feel free to comment on it. Besides the obvious stuff that I've already mentioned, like obviously I'm going to include a Zeus in here as an XYZ deck. Of course, Zeus is going in here. Hand trap wise, I'm going to adjust it if I take this deck seriously. Right now, it's more of like a proof of concept, something kind of cool to show off to others and maybe catch your interest and you go sweaty try hard with it. Just remember me when you do, when you make it famous. So this is more so of just a proof of concept, which is why I try not to overwhelm with hand traps. And honestly, I don't really like hand traps like that. Uh, Honestly, I prefer board breakers. But this is what we have so far. Um, Hopefully, if you have any cool random level 7 techs, let me know because I'm really trying to um make some stuff happen. I know that there's like a world where you can also play the Kashtira with like Dragon Maze and stuff because when I was doing the other deck and like making the rulers and the blue eyes and the Dragon Maze in there, I saw the synergy with like these cards and it's fairly easy to get some sevens on the board down the road. But and of course you can always play like the Strudo. Technically, you wouldn't. Oh, this does. But looking at this did remind me. I was also going to show um, Kashtira Rocket. That one I know would be sweaty good. The only thing I would have to do in there is just make my Shang Shang era I um before I use Tracer. But there is a world where you can make this pretty reliably, and it's off that same type of synergy that you saw with Black Metal Dragon, being able to make Diablosis pretty quickly. But you can make more extenders because you actually have a couple of like free zones to work with, and a lot of just random sevens, Noctovision, Absa Router, Exploder Rocket Dragon. That's what I meant to add to here. That's what it. Yeah. So this was another tech I was going to add, and I completely forgot. Because this is a rocket monster, you have the amazing, funny. Is it quick launch? Yeah, you have the funny synergy here. You can quick launch into Exploder Rocket Dragon. It's the funniest crap ever. I forgot about this one, so I'm putting that in right now. I'm going to get rid of cross out. I'll get rid of the hand trap. Oh, I'll keep Ash. I'm gonna get rid of the Biru. And then what else? Harpy's Feather Duster went hard for a couple of these duels. I think I'll drop one instant contact. Just because I don't want to really brick on them like that. I mean, technically, I don't want to brick on quick launch either, but since I have to run the Garnet in the main deck, three of these make more sense than the three instant contacts because like this is just like a card for itself in the extra deck, but this I don't know. You know what? Having it at three, it'll be fine. It'll be whatever. 41 cards ain't the end of the world. I could cut something else out later. But yeah, this is funny as crap. Yeah. I'm glad I went through some of these sevens because that's hilarious, and I mentioned that before. But I think I may, depending on how I really like this deck, I may make a 7 deck like that, and some other random text is like Malefic Red Ice Black Metal Black Dragon because you could do that too. It just special summons itself for free, but I mean the level 6 Red Ice just kind of does it better because you don't need the field spell. But Rocket is always playing a field spell, so like this is technically always live regardless of whatever else you have, provided you have the Red Ice to banish from your deck. But stuff, stuff. Um, So yeah, there's just like a lot of random synergy. This just reminds me of the Red Ice Tomb Dragon. You can normal summon the Blackstone, tribute it, and it's special level 7 dragon from the deck. You can just special summon Red Ice Tomb Dragon, which is hilarious. So there's some other random sevens, but like I don't want to make the deck like so bricky. Like if I made it a big monster mash, sure, but there's also as you could tell, like just a lot of like normal summon sevens that would kind of mess up this as well. But otherwise, it's pretty funny. Should I put no? I would need a normal. But it's pretty funny. There's just like a lot of random sevens that you could just kind of play in here that I think will be worthwhile. I don't know. Maybe I'll also put in like the adventure package in here as well. I don't know. I feel like that's just a little too bricky. Like quick launch one is already like if you draw the Router. Oh my god! Look at this hand. Look at this hand. You special unicorn. You get the birth. You normal summon him. If they try to do anything, you triple tactic and then banish something from the extra deck. You may not even need to do the other thing. You get quick launch. Oh my goodness, this hand is. I love it. The only issue is that Blaster can't do anything since we have the fire in the wind. But that's such a crazy hand. Or even here, no, we're seeing it in you. You special the ogre. You quick launch into the. It's a exploder rocket. You have your 7 on board. Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy, kid. That's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. And the only thing is, if you draw it, you just gotta hope you draw a ruler, in which, or a baby, and then you could discard it off of that. So, because in your hand it's pretty trash because you're not making like monsters in this deck. But that's this for right now. Um, I will save this because I'm gonna hold on to that. This is still pending. If you got any advice, any rank sevens, or if there's like some random synergies, like just other monsters that I can add in, let me know. It's one of the few decks that don't play Gamma because like you're literally not playing anything until you put a monster on the field. So sad about it. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and I will catch you all later.